Making fig jam. Nice. Good. Another little scoop. On, set them on top like that. You do that. Get these down all the way till it gets tight. Good. I'll do this one too. See? Very good. Nice work. So we got our jars in there, right? We're gonna let them boil for a least. Good morning, guys. It is August the 29th. It is Tuesday the 29th. I'm going today to Emory for my radiation simulation. Okay, so I am driving, so the best way for me to talk to you right now is just to do it this way. So today I'm going to Emory. I have a meeting with my radiation oncologist, and my radiation simulation is what they call it. So basically they'll get me set up in the machine for radiation. They'll mark my exact area that they want to radiate, and they'll put these like semi-permanent marks so that every single time I come in, they'll line me up on the same exact marks and radiate the same area every time. So today is just a simulation of that. They'll get everything set up. They'll figure out what kind of dosage I have to have. Just the whole setup for radiation will be today. I also have an acupuncture appointment today, which is part of my integrative oncology that I do also at Emory. And so yeah, I have a whole bunch of appointments today, and I'm gonna try to get all that taken care of, and hopefully I can bring you along for some parts of that, because I think that'll be pretty interesting. So got this little wrap on that I'm going to wear for radiation. It's really cute. I'm here waiting for my simulation to start. Hey guys, good morning. It's the next day. I did my radiation simulation yesterday. I had a long meeting with my radiation oncologist doctors. There were two of them there. And so yeah, so I want to talk about that a little bit today. and I want to talk about my treatment plan going forward. So first of all, I'll talk about my recuperation from surgery. That is going really well. I'm feeling really good. I'm very active. There's still a few things that I can't do. I can't lift, super heavy stuff. And I'm having a lot of trouble just with range of motion still. So, I'm doing PT to help, with getting my arms above my head and keeping them there. So, just some mobility stuff, but nothing that is keeping me from doing just normal average day-to-day, activity. I'm not doing any like major physical stuff, no major gardening or farming or anything like that. Just basic household tasks. And that's going fine, and as long as I can do that, then I'm pleased. So I don't have to have people taking care of me all the time. So healing well from surgery, incisions look great, everything looks really good. They looked over all the pathology of my cancer. So when you have surgery, all the tissue that they take, so the breast tissue, the lymph nodes, everything that they took goes to the lab, and they analyze all of it to check, what the status of your cancer is, like how the chemo worked or didn't work and stuff like that, all the details. So when you get your pathology, what you're essentially wanting to see is that they got all the cancer out and they got clear margins and that they think that you are cancer-free now. And I did not get a report like that. So technically, I am not cancer-free. I do still have potentially residual cancer in my body. So the type of cancer I have is invasive lobular carcinoma. They call it the sneaky cancer because of the way that it grows. It's an infiltrating cancer, which means it doesn't grow like in a lump or a ball, like a tumor, like you are expecting. It grows flat and sprawling and spreads kind of like a web or a net. And so it's a lot trickier to see and to find, even with imaging like MRIs and ultrasounds and mammograms. A lot of that stuff is still not visible in that imaging, or it's not as visible as you would like to see. So my original tumor was on the right-hand side, and we knew that we had at least one lymph node, possibly two lymph nodes that were cancerous. The tumor ended up being an 18-centimeter tumor, which is really big. It was basically, taking up the majority of my right breast. I had 16 lymph nodes removed, and all 16 lymph nodes had cancer in them. They also found cancer in my left breast, which we had no idea about. Like the left side was, we scanned it and we looked, but we never found anything on the left side. So the left side was not on our radar at all for, targeting any treatment for. So everything was geared to the right. The chemotherapy that I did, these 16 rounds of chemo that I did, was about 70% effective on the tumor itself, but it was not effective at all in the lymph nodes, which means that all 16 of the lymph nodes that were removed were still cancerous. And the thought process is basically that if there are additional lymph nodes still remaining in my armpit or in any of the breast or clavicular area up here, that those potentially are also still cancerous because, the chemo didn't really work there. So that felt really unfortunate. I went through a lot of struggle with the chemo, and I'm not saying that the chemo was just didn't do anything anywhere. It did work. And I'm hoping that, if for some reason the lymph node, the cancer has escaped those lymph nodes and gone somewhere else in my body, that hopefully that chemotherapy did help, kill it or eradicate it and get it out of any other place in my body. But right now, we just really don't know that. And we won't know that potentially until cancer is big enough to actually detect, or it may not be there at all. So it's kind of a, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, you know, sort of situation. Like, it could be there, it could not be there, but we're going to treat it like potentially it is there, and that we want to keep it at bay as long as possible. So we're going to be doing the radiation treatments, obviously. They are considering doing radiation now to the left side as well because of that cancer that they found in the left side. They said the pathology was a little bit unclear as to where exactly that those fragments of cancer were found in the left breast. Like, did they get it all out? Did it go into the lymph nodes? Because we didn't do any lymph node related surgery on this side, and we did not do that radioactive tracer to do a sentinel node biopsy on this side either. So we're really not sure about what the case is on the left. And so the radiologist, the radiation oncologist, is basically consulting with the doctor, the pathologist, and a bunch of her colleagues to help make a decision on whether or not I need to have bilateral radiation or just, you know, the right side. So yeah, that's currently the situation. So they upgraded my staging of my cancer. So initially they thought stage 2B. Now we're at stage 3C, which is basically as high as you can get before it becomes like a metastatic cancer, you know, where it spreads to other parts of the body. And again, like I said, we don't know if it's metastatic or not, and we may not know for a long, long time because we just won't know. Like I said, the cancer is very sneaky. It's hard to detect, and it would have to get pretty big before we would see it somewhere. And at that point, you know, that's just a crap situation, because once it gets to that point somewhere else in your body, you know, then you have to worry about what's going on with those organs potentially. So moving forward, I will more than likely, I will still go on my hormone blockers. I will probably be having a hysterectomy or a oophorectomy, where they remove your ovaries and fallopian tubes. I'm also going to be on a chemo pill, which helps to interrupt the cell cycle of the cancer. So that's something I'll potentially be on for, you know, long term still. Now, it's not like it does have side effects, but not like losing your hair and all those really, really severe side effects. So yeah, there'll still be side effects from that, but it won't be like being on that really heavy duty IV chemotherapy. So yeah, I mean, that's what's happening with the cancer itself. The radiation situation yesterday was real interesting, the way they set you up in that machine. It's basically like they were building a roadmap yesterday. So they put you in a CT machine. So they want to see all your organs, your whole body, how everything's laid out in your body. They place you in the position that you're going to be in for the radiation, which is, for me, will be hands above my head. I have to hold on. There's this little like bar above my head. And then they mold this, you lay down on this foamy, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a mold basically. And so they form this mold around you, around your head, your arms, and everything. And that is your mold for every treatment. So that when you go in for the treatment, they put the mold underneath you, you lay in it, and your arms go in the exact same position. Your head is in the same position every single time. They want to radiate the exact same area every time you go to get the most benefit. So that was pretty interesting. They're going to be, for me, there's lymph nodes up here. So they're going to be doing an area from up here, like all the way down to here, of course, over into the armpit, and kind of across, you know, in the shoulder here. On this side, they won't go quite so high. If they decide to do it, they're just going to do kind of right in here. So yeah, there's, you know, a lot a lot of stuff coming with that. So they line you up with everything, and then they put a whole bunch of marks on you with like a heavy duty Sharpie type thing. And then they cover all those marks with these like waterproof stickers. And so you basically get lined up with those lines and in your mold, so that every time you go, they're blasting the same area. So that was pretty interesting. Because of all the stickers and stuff, I can't go into the water and swim. You can take a shower, but you can't submerge yourself just underwater because they don't want all those markings to come off. And then also, once the radiation starts, the skin will become irritated. You'll start to see kind of like a sunburn initially, and then as you go on into the treatments, it could get a little worse. You could get the blistering, you can get some peeling of the skin, you can get some like hardening of the skin a little bit, or discoloration, just a lot of side effects like that. It can cause a lot of fatigue. What was some of the other ones? I don't remember them all, but there are side effects and they're cumulative. So initially you may not feel any of those side effects, but as the time goes on, you'll start to feel them, as you go. I have to go for treatments 5 days a week for 6 weeks. So 30 treatments. And that's going to be pretty intense, driving back and forth downtown or to Decatur every day for treatment. So that's pretty intensive. But overall, that's kind of what's coming for me. I won't say I'm excited about it. I'm ready to get it over with, so to speak. And I'm also ready to start doing the radiation so that whatever cancer is in there still, that we're going to start damaging it, because it's pretty terrifying to think that the cancer may have already spread or is at the verge of spreading to other parts of my body, and I just really don't want that to happen. So yeah, we're gonna fight it, and we're gonna get there. All right, guys, that's enough talking. That's the update. I appreciate everyone's messages and support. Everyone just keeps showing up for me, and I really do appreciate it. I mean, my channel has been just kind of on hiatus for this last, 8 or 9 months since all this has started. And, this is what I got for you right now. So I'm doing the best I can. And again, I appreciate you guys showing up here for me. So I love y'all, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. Bye.